BYD has single-handedly scared the Western car makers so bad that it has prompted a tariff war against China. Can an Indian EV cater to the buyer's demand from such anti-China countries? We have already seen Indian motorcycles quietly take over the African continent with highly efficient and surprisingly reliable two-wheelers. Can they do the same with small EVs? The Punch EV just might be the perfect product to pull this off. Now, Tata Motors is already India's dominant player in the electric car market with a 60% market share last year. On top of that, the Punch with an IC engine was India's best-selling car in 2024. Over 200,000 units of the Punch was sold in a single year. Of course, the BYD Dolphin sold even more than that, and without any IC engine variant either. But now, the Dolphin has started showing its age. The Punch EV was launched in January 2024, and Tata has studied the market requirement very well while developing the car. Its starting price is roughly $1,000 more than the Dolphin if you ignore the smaller battery variants. But for the higher price, you get a 30% more powerful motor than the Dolphin. Plus, it weighs 100 kilos less than the Dolphin as well. End result is peppy acceleration with a 0 to 100 time of 9.5 seconds. Not to forget, the Punch EV has a higher ground clearance and a shorter wheelbase than the Dolphin. This makes it far less susceptible to scraping its underbody on broken roads. The Dolphin fights back with 60 kilometers more range than the Punch. But that's not all, because the Dolphin can charge twice as fast as the Punch EV. Simply put, the Dolphin can at 100 kilometers of range in 20 minutes, whereas the Punch requires 45 minutes to do the same. Another little advantage that the Dolphin has over the Punch is a 10 kilometers per hour higher top speed. The Dolphin does have a 200 horsepower variant with a 60 kilowatt-hour battery, but it is $2,000 more expensive than the top-end Punch. That begs a comparison with Tata Motors' Curve EV, which is coming up next on this channel. The last and the most important factor is that of reliability. And that is where the Dolphin has a much longer 4-year strong track record compared to the Punch. The Punch EV, on the other hand, has been facing some teething troubles in its domestic market. BYD also makes a smaller model than the Dolphin, called the Seagull or the Dolphin Mini. Stay tuned to see a quick comparison between the Punch EV and the Seagull. India's Tata Motors has made one fantastic EV that can challenge the BYD Seagull in 3 crucial attributes. First is the performance. The Punch EV is available with a 121 horsepower motor. That is an impressive 63% more powerful than the Seagull. It is 3.5 seconds quicker to a 100 kilometers per hour than the Seagull. After all, life is too short to waste years of your limited driving life in an underpowered vehicle, isn't it? No wonder then that Tata Motors has been dominating the Indian EV market with a 60% market share in 2024. Also, the little Punch SUV with an IC engine was India's best-selling car last year with a sales tally of 200,000 units. It is still no match to the Seagull's sales performance of almost 500,000 units in the same period. But the point is, this comparison is a battle of giants. Don't judge these little runabouts based on their tiny footprints. The only problem with the Punch EV is that it is considerably more expensive than the Seagull. The cheapest variant of the Punch EV starts at $11,500 in India, but it has a tiny 25 kilowatt-hour battery and an 80 horsepower motor. It is no match to the top-end variant of the Seagull and is simply not worth considering at all. However, the penultimate variant of the Punch EV has just as much features as the range-topping Seagull, the only concern being a $4,000 higher price tag. That does place it in the region of Seagull's biggest sibling, that is the Dolphin's price range. But even then, it is the low-powered 94 horsepower models of the Dolphin which compete with the Punch head-on. The higher-powered variant of the Dolphin is not available below $18,000. That means the Punch EV nicely fills up the gap in BYD's portfolio. Even in terms of size, it is 3 inches longer, 1 inch wider and 4 inches taller than the Seagull. The Punch definitely has more interior space than the Seagull. Plus, its taller seating position provides better under-thigh support as well. Even its boot space is a good 100 litres bigger than the Seagull's. Punch EV's ground clearance is also 40mm higher than the Seagull. Even its tyre width is 20mm more than the Seagull's. That makes it better suited for emerging markets. That being said, for developing regions, reliability matters more than anything else. And this is where BYD's track record trumps Tata Motors so far. Seagull's electrical architecture is also more advanced than the Punch. This is evident in Seagull's fast charging capability. It can add 100 kilometers of range in about 25 minutes. The Punch, on the other hand, takes a painfully long time to charge, even at a DC fast charger. Adding 100 kilometers of range to the Punch will take a minimum of 45 minutes. Continue watching to see how Tata Motors' even more affordable Seagull EV competes with the Seagull. There are 5 big reasons why the BYD Seagull is better than the Tata Seagull EV. Starting with the most important reason, which is the range that depends on the car's battery size. Base models of both the cars cost roughly the same in their respective countries of origin. But the base Seagull has a 58% bigger battery than the base Seagull. What that means in terms of real-world usage is that the base Seagull will have 80 kilometers more range than the base Seagull. The base Seagull has a realistic range of just 135 kilometers. Even if your range requirement is less than what the base Seagull offers, having a bigger battery like the Seagull will still give you a big advantage in terms of battery life. Simply because bigger the battery, lesser will be the number of charging and discharging cycles. Also, the depth of discharge will be lower for the bigger battery, prolonging its life. Now, you can get a Seagull with a bigger 25 kilowatt-hour battery, but for that, you'll have to shell out a minimum of $12,000. However, for the exact same price, you can also get the Seagull's top-end variant, which has an even bigger 39 kilowatt-hour battery. That gives a real-world range of 280 kilometers. Second reason is the difference in fast charging ability of these two. The Seagull can charge at more than twice the speed of a Seagull. Third difference is in terms of performance. Even the base Seagull is 35% more powerful than the top-end Seagull. Fourth reason is the features. Tata has just updated the Seagull EV with a 10-inch touchscreen like the Seagull. But the Seagull has 4 airbags while the Seagull has only 2. The Seagull also has a 360-degree camera system while the Seagull only has a rear camera. And the Seagull also has front parking sensors, whereas the Seagull has them only at the rear. The Seagull gets a tire pressure monitoring system, while the Seagull only gets a tire pressure loss indicator. The Seagull gets disc brakes at the rear, while the Seagull gets drums. The Seagull gets alloy wheels, while the Seagull only gets wheel covers that look like alloys. The Seagull also gets a wireless phone charger and heated mirrors that the Seagull doesn't. And finally, coming to the fifth reason, which is the most jaw-dropping one, comes from BYD's recent announcement. All BYDs, including the Seagull, will get autonomous driving capability of L2 Plus level from 2025. L2 Plus means vehicles that have the capability to perform autonomous driving while following a mapped route even when the driver has his hands off the steering wheel but not unsupervised. Tata definitely can and must add all these missing elements to their Seagull as soon as possible and target all those markets which are planning a tariff war on China. Thanks a ton for watching till the end. Check out this controversial video that we have published recently. And please type out all your criticisms and disagreements in the comment box below. We absolutely enjoy replying to each and every one of them.